Good evening. It's good to be back. I'm happy to be back. I am. We're going to be yammering on about a particular subject that, honestly, it's been on my brain for a while. You see, PETA, Protection Ethical Treatment of Animals. That was the acronym that they went with. Not accurate, but that's what they went with. You know, those... It legitimately, it enrages me. It enrages me. I've been bottling this up for a while. Okay? Let's talk about PETA. Good afternoon, Justin. Glad you could join us. So PETA. 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 You know, I've never met any particular organization in all my years that's had the level of hypocrisy in existence to where it's legitimately destructive to exactly what it is that it's insane. It's insane. I mean, our own government doesn't even go this nuts. Do you know how bad it has to be and how low the bar already is for you to sink below it and set it lower? It's nuts. PETA. PETA. You know, I've seen their origins. I have that many years behind me. I remember when they were walking around. Good to be back, Daniel. I got steam to let off. I remember when they were going around for their whole anti-fur campaign. Splashing people with blood. Why? They say to simulate murder. Murder. Really? Murder. No. You see, PETA, it's, you know, it actually completely pulls the words from me. That's the level of stupidity we're talking here, okay? They kill animals. They're in their shelters. Okay? They call it treatment, ethical treatment of animals. Killing them. You know, not getting them treatment, not giving them new homes. Killing them. It hurts. It hurts. I understand animal rights. I get it. People don't like killing things that are cute. Some people, a cow is cute. I look at it and I see steak and a new baseball glove. Maybe a nice wallet and a good jacket. And a kick-ass set of boots. I get it. I do. I see the idea. The idea is admirable. Okay? It is. I'll give them that. It's the only thing I'll give them. The idea. But you know what? It's one thing to have an idea. It's another to actually push through with it. You know? they create these shelters, which might as well be called gas chambers. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. And they murder. Now, it's sort of funny. It almost kind of goes hand in hand when you think about it. Just a little bit. That a lot of people that are a part of PETA are also vegans. Think about that. I find it funny. Don't you? Maybe a little bit of a correlation, somewhat in the insanity. I do. I find it to be rather linked. That feeling of superiority. You've joined a big name organization that supposedly protects the furry ones. How delightfully sweet. Their money practices? Oh, don't get me started on their money-making practices. The campaigns that they staged, especially during their initial years, before the truth about them came out. Woo! Where did all that money go? Where did all that money go? New Gucci handbags that are made of hemp? Maybe. I'm thinking maybe, just possibly, something of a little bit of a nugget to actually get put into your head. That maybe they knew what they were pitching was bullshit. Maybe. Just a little bit. Maybe they thought they could be forming a new form of the People's Temple. Possibly. Another Jim Jones situation where they can influence policy. Maybe. God knows they staged more than enough protests. They did. Many years ago. Seeing a PETA picket line was a legitimate threat. These days, it's laughable. Why is it laughable? Because people know exactly what you are, PETA. Hypocrites. You violated the one fucking rule of power. You showed your hand. It's unbelievable. Wrong PETA page, but I love your enthusiasm. PETA. PETA who spilled blood on fur coats, which were rather warm, I might add. PETA who stole millions from well-meaning individuals to fuel their own agendas. How lovely of them. What do you think their last words should be? We're sorry? Pull an Exxon, maybe? I don't know. Maybe you know. Oh, Lily, I'm right there with you. You see, you want to help an animal. You get them somewhere they can be cared about. What you do, you feed them, you bring them to health, you give them a new home. Or you put them into the wild after they're healthy enough to do so. Just thought, maybe. It's funny, really, when you think about it, where somebody says the worst thing that you could legitimately do, the worst thing is send an animal to PETA. It boggles my brain. Tell me in the comments some of the shit you've heard, because I've heard plenty. Okay? picketing leather manufacturers, picketing food distributors, meat packing plants. I think even PETA tried to push for, and maybe it was just satire, I don't know, and I don't pretend to know. Maybe, didn't they try to push for marriage to animals? Little bit on the bestiality side, just a little bit. They really love their animals. Certainly understands the Scottish audience they have. Just a little bit crazy now. Them and their sweaty balls. Yeah, I remember hearing that one, Jess. Yeah, they wanted people to drink human milk. Yeah, I know. The thing is that 90% of the shit that they do, they've done before. And keep on doing it. And nobody is stopping them. This is what's fucked up. Oh yeah, the eco-terrorism, as they would call it. Yeah. I remember that, Sabrina. Okay? It's that, my friends, is the definition of a terroristic organization. One that was built with a mask of good intentions. Mask of good intentions. One, it confuses me. It confuses me because, they preyed upon exactly the right people to prey upon. That's what actually irks me. They knew exactly what their audience would be. Their audience are the bleeding hearts. The ones that consider their pets fur babies. I'm not ripping into y'all. Believe me, that may be next week. I might be doing a video on cats. Or dogs. Or birds. Or fish. Or pets. I might. I don't know. Hold on a second there, Sabrina. I'm reading that. What about putting naked women in cages on busy streets in New York City and then brutalizing them to prove a point? Oh. I remember that. It's insane. And they got away with it. That's what bugs me. That's what really irks the shit out of me. This is what happens when you have a society that is loaded with people that care more about feelings than facts. It doesn't matter if it's true. If it pisses me off, then it's wrong. That is the type of audience that PETA preyed upon, and that movement's genesis. Okay? They're the ones that fueled it. PETA was the opening salvo to those types of folks. PETA was where it all started. Okay? It grew and grew and grew until things began to go insane. Okay? That's what happened. That's how it happened. And we're to blame. You, me, we're to blame. We're to blame because we didn't tell these people, you don't understand. Organizations like this are doing X, Y, and Z. They're telling you they're doing ABC. They're doing X, Y, Z. Okay? They didn't want to hear it. They wanted an organization that protected the animals and didn't bother to do their reading. They didn't bother to do their homework until it was too late. They became high established. They got celebrities to back them. Next thing you frickin' know, to question an organization that your favorite celebrity is a part of is to question that celebrity. And God knows, so many of us will refuse to do that. Can you imagine what happened if the Kardashians were big when Peter first started and ended up getting Kim to endorse them? They'd be a fucking powerhouse. We wouldn't be able to touch them. Okay, first off, anybody that attacks Steve Irwin is getting put up personally on a post by me. I will grab an M1 and I will unload an entire stripper clip into them. Steve Irwin was a national treasure, a global treasure. I'm not saying a cult. I'm saying they were attempting to be a cult, Justin. For those of you that don't have your comments turned on, Justin said, could they be considered a cult? You know what? They're a cult of personality, is what they are. But the personality isn't of an individual. The personality is of an idea. That's what they're a cult of. They're a cult of protect the animals. And to say that you're not part of PETA means you don't give a fuck about animals. That's where the fucked up part is. They got it into their fucking heads. Their meaning ours. Society. To say, and they're one of the first groups, at least within my generation, to pull this shit off effectively. And got away with it. They got it into people's fucking heads that if you disagree with them, you're against animals. And it worked. And we fell for it. How? How in the blue blazes of Hades did that happen? They played upon your sympathies. They played upon your hearts. This is a time when people needed to harden their hearts and go for the pragmatic. Not listen to the message, listen to the intent behind what's backing the message up. By that I mean this. We want to protect the animals. Well, how? We'll make them safer. Well, how? Nobody asked a how. All they heard was the part of the message they wanted to hear. Remember, PETA came out of the whole save the whales mentality. The whole Earth Day and massive amounts of recycling became a freaking big-ass movement. That's when that shit started. When being eco-friendly was the first time we were hearing that. The idea of an ozone layer being depleted. When we first started to hear about that, and that became hyper fucking mainstream. Do how about evenness? Kathleen, I'm having trouble translating your text. You see, PETA became the prime example of what happens when you say the right thing at the right time to the right people. Oh, you... Okay. I will tell you. Okay, it seems we have a PETA supporter in the comments. And you want to know what? I'm happy. I'm happy about that. I'm all about that. Okay? Okay? Here's the bit. Okay? I criticize an organization that kills animals. I criticize an organization that feels that an animal's death is more humane than giving it much health care and letting it into the wild. I'm against an organization that purposely looks to destruction and spreading diseases just to push its narrative. I'm against an organization that essentially terrorized people through the late 80s and early 90s just because they were right in their eyes. That's what I'll criticize. The solution? You care about animals? Guess what? Take up a cause for non-euthanization of animals. If they're terminal, that's one thing. But considering them out and about as a terminal idea, no, that's not. Okay? Killing a dog because you can't find it a home? Too bad. You don't euthanize an animal. You find it a home. You care about it. You either get it trained or get it repurposed. What you don't do is kill it because you can't be bothered. That's abuse. And you know what, Kathleen? If PETA followed that, I might have some sympathy for them. But that's not what they're doing. It's not what they're doing. And that's not what they did. They used to go around, as it was previously stated, they released rats from labs that were infected with disease in Italy. They formed most of the kill shelters in this country. They destroyed public property just to get their little message across. They misappropriated funds that was meant to help the animals. They're not an organization. As far as I'm concerned, they're a terrorist group. Because to them, you either are a full-fledged member or you're part of the problem. To them, there is no middle ground. Animal products, if anything, are exactly why we exist in this world. Okay? They are. Now, don't get me wrong. I think all animals should be treated fairly. I don't care about just the cute ones. I care about the ugly ones too. You know, I'd love to go to that, Lily. See if the station will fund that. I will gladly go there. I will gladly go there specifically for that. That's the only time I will eat a veggie dog. Maybe hypnotize all the playmates. You know, there are a few organizations that really boil my frickin' bones. PETA's one of them. I'm not a fan of hypocrisy. Ultimately, that's what I have a problem with. Hypocrisy. Their idea of love and ethical treatment is to kill. Not the case. I am a meat eater. Primarily, I'm a carnivore. I'm an omnivore when I need to be. You put a steak in front of me, I'm the happiest man on the planet. And I love processed food just as much as natural food. Because to me, it's food. If I could, around here, I'd hunt. As a matter of fact, I can hunt. It's just a pain in the ass because I don't have the time. And Sabrina, it's ethical only to them. It's a self-righteousness campaign is all it is. That's all PETA is. It's a self-righteousness campaign. It's so that they can feel better about themselves. They're not looking for the ethical treatment of anything other than themselves. Simple. It is very simple how I can love an animal and eat another animal. Because you know what? Ultimately, what I choose to eat is what I choose to eat to sustain me. And what I choose to keep for companionship, I keep for companionship. Plain and simple. But if it comes down to it, I'll eat it. Here's a funny thing. I've had cat. I've had dog. I wouldn't recommend it. It's not necessarily good tasting. But I've had it. If a particular animal is very tasty, I'll eat it. But if I have an animal that I want to treat in an ethical manner for the sake of companionship, that's the difference. That's the difference. Some animals, frankly, are not good for food. Some. Some are great for food. Some are incredibly nutritious. Same for insects. Does that necessarily mean I'll eat them exclusively? Fuck no. Do you only eat one type of vegetable? You know you can eat dandelions, right? But you love flowers and plants. It's all about diversity. We ourselves, naturally, are carnivores. That's what our canines were built for, to tear through meat and flesh. Our molars were formed in order to be able to grind leaves and nuts. Our incisors were evolved in order to be able to cut through flesh. If we're going to go with the biological imperative here. Our bodies were built to process the particular nutrients that animals have. We're just a lot more knowledgeable about it. And the only reason why there's ever a question about it is because somebody feels that they'll be superior to another if they choose not to do one thing or another. It's not murder. It's natural. Sentience. And this is what it ultimately comes down to. Sentience determines whether or not something is a meal or a friend. Primarily. Okay? Sentience. And I'm sorry. Your cat or your dog, they're not sentient. Not in the sense of having formidable capabilities to communicate with you beyond instinctual communication. Okay? Plain and simple. I could offer a plate of chicken flavored treat to a dog. He'll eat it if he likes it, but he isn't going to look at you and say, oh, good, I'm glad we were having chicken again. No. We have the capability of complex reasoning. Your animals don't have that. I'm sorry, they don't. Deal with it. They don't. Your pet doesn't love you. Your pet's protective of its food source, its source of heat and shelter. That's it. Its capability for social reasoning, that's not complex reasoning. That's instinctual. That's pack animal mentality. Plain and simple. But that's what PETA feeds on. Your idea that animals have complex reasoning and sentience, that if they suddenly had the ability to form words, they'd have full-blown conversations with you. No, they don't. I'm sorry, they don't. You want to actually have nice little feelings about them having it because you feel like it gives you a sense of speciality within you. And you know what? Do you. Have that delusion. It's good for you. It makes you feel better. Go ahead. But you know what? In reality, it's not the case. But PETA feeds on people that do have that mentality. And their mentality is this. You wouldn't kill your best friend that's human, so why would you kill your best friend that's about less than a foot tall and has fur? That's what their mentality is. That's what they're feeding on. That's what they're hoping you'll donate $5 to their campaign. That's what they're banking on. That's exactly what they banked on when they formed. And guess what? We fell for it. We fueled the fires. Only now we're starting to stomp it out. Only now. Within the last 10 years, they've started to be seen as the joke that they are. Finally. We came to our fucking senses and we saw what the hell was going on. That's when people started to realize this organization is the most hypocritical group ever to have existed. Protection and ethical treatment of animals. Yeah, their ethical treatment is to kill them, which is against exactly what it is that they've shoved down our throats. It's fucking insane. Tell me what you guys think. Am I being off base here? Am I being a little too extreme? Or am I just spitting facts here? Facts that you don't like to hear. Because, let's be honest. There's a difference between an animal and a human. There is. Contrary to what you want to think, there is. Okay? I'm a bird person. I love birds. But, okay? Ornithology aside, I know that they're not sentient. I know that the songs they sing, they aren't singing them because they think I'll like them. I know it's a flock call in order to be able to determine my presence within an area. I know when it puts its head down, it's not telling me to rub its head because it likes feeling that from me. I know that it's merely to remove the chitinous shoots that its head feathers are actually coming out, that it can't reach. Animals can be trained. So can humans. That doesn't mean that they're the same. You wouldn't call a Pinto a Ferrari. But that's basically what you're doing. Not the same processing power. It's like calling a high-end computer tower and a Tamagotchi and calling them the exact same thing. No. Now, I've noticed the comments have stalled here. I'm not sure if you guys are actually hearing me or not. Can I get an acknowledgement? At all? Because you're fairly quiet. And it bothers me. Any comments? Because they're not registering on my end. So I don't know if you guys are seeing this. But I'll continue. Now, the individuals that have run PETA. Let's see. Let's take a look at the main database here. Let's see who's currently running PETA right now. La-da-dee, la-da-da, wonders of the internet. Taking a look on the main bit. Let me take a look at something real quick. Well, it seems my comments have frozen. Let me do a little bit of what I call Facebook bohoing. One of my favorite things to do. We'll lower that a little bit and take a look and see what pops up. Okay, you can hear me. I'm seeing the first one here, Debbie Drake. Hi, how you doing? Patrick, good to see you. You know what? I'm going to do this so that I can see you guys. Slaughterhouses are disgusting. Training is a habit reaction. Good. I'm glad you guys could hear me here. For some reason, my comments froze, which sucks. Because I love hearing from you folks. I really do. Current meat shortage is because we funnel like 8% of pork and beef products through a handful of slaughterhouses and packaging plants. Yeah, and you want to know the reason why there's a limit on those particular plants? It's because PETA has started to picket so many damn companies that they can't open up. And most places are afraid to actually have them at this point. They're afraid. And I don't blame them. Tell me how freaking nuts that is. Nobody should ever be afraid to start a business because an organization is going to cause them to get shut down. That's against the general principles of why we exist on this continent, within this nation. We have the right to pursue happiness. A little bit of a governmental lesson for you. We have the right to pursue happiness. How you doing, Chris? How are things in the land down under where there's a lot of animals that could kill us? Oof. And you know what? Sabrina, there's some degree of truth to that. Local is good for the sense of support, for support of the local community. There's one downside to that, and it's the idea that organic, homegrown, etc. tastes better in every case. Sometimes it's not the case. Sometimes it's not. Stuff that's grown in commercial facilities sometimes does taste better. I'm sorry, it's truth. Something a lot of people don't want to admit, but it's fact. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see here. Went to a cherry blossom. Right on, damn right. All right, Debbie, I'm going to tell you this. All right, and I've mentioned it before, but I'm going to mention it again. Okay? I'll mention it again. Only within the last, 10 years have we started to realize the hypocrisy that is PETA. Okay? Only within the last 10 years. They started because they played upon The idea that animals are sentient creatures just like we are. And you know what? We didn't question that. We didn't contest that. We didn't stand up and say, no, it's bullshit. Come on. Come on. No. No. All right? That's the only reason why they had any near, like, what's the word here? Any kind of nefarious purpose. Nobody bothered to question that. Because they were playing upon our sympathies. That's why, in a way, it's kind of like a cult. If you really think about it. I was going to check and see if, who the hell is running PETA now? You guys do the research. Come on, Killing Wall Nation, tell me. They've gone through so many leaders over the last, 20 years or so. And there's been so much controversy over the money handling, some of the crap that they've pulled, and they still get money. Still. They're like the anti-vaxxer movement. You gotta wonder, where's the logic? Where's the logic? It doesn't exist. It bothers me that it doesn't exist. Exactly. Yeah, they're cultish. That's all they are. They're cultish. Okay, yeah. Megan, I can agree with you. I can. To some degree. But you know what? Jersey tomatoes, they're grown in processing plants here in Jersey. But they're still the best fucking tomatoes on the planet. Sorry. Sometimes there's a reason why a company grows as big as it does. It's because they know what the fuck they're doing when it comes to actually making something. You gotta wonder. This is where the lack of questioning comes in. That's where the big issue is. Nobody bothers to doubt it. If an organization comes around saying a massive sweeping statement, if it plays to the right audience, nobody will question it. That's the biggest problem. Ingrid Newkirk. Oy vey. Elizabeth, you said it best. Good intent spiraling into zealot jackassery. Yes. That's exactly how it exploded. And then somebody, I think, from the organization blew the whistle on them. And then they started to actually look. Oops. Like I said, that's how they got... That's where they fucked up. They fucked up because they showed their hand and then tried to justify it. First rule in building any type of organization is make sure your message is actually practiced by you. Make sure that your message is not something that you have to justify if you're doing the exact opposite. They made that mistake because they were banking on just one idea. We can make people do and think whatever we want if we play exactly into what they want to hear. It's exactly how it happened. Nobody questioned it. Let's see, what else we got here? I could certainly agree with you about the strawberries there, Megan. No doubt about that. We are talking about PETA tonight, Patrick. That's who we're targeting. That's who's on the killing wall tonight. They're up on the pole. And you know what? There's something to be said about learning where your food comes from. You know what? That's a sense of pride. And that truly is what is the biggest problem. The idea of being proud of what you put in your body. That's where a lot of the organic markets, the non-GMO markets, the local farmer markets, that's what they bank on. And you know what? In a lot of cases, yeah, support your local business. I'm always going to say that. Support your local if you can. But you want to know what? What you should not do is feel guilty about liking something that's mainstream. Okay? You shouldn't just shop at places like Whole Foods. Don't feel bad about going into a freaking Walmart grocer and picking up celery there. Don't feel like you're destroying your community if you just happen to like pork chops from the local Aldi. Okay? But I guarantee you, a lot of the organic places, or places that are distributors or such, will point out, you're hurting XYZ because you're buying from here or there. How jacked up is that? Don't you find that a little fucked up? Just a little bit? That you're being judged for where you get your food. You know what? No. Nobody should ever feel guilty about where they're getting their noms. Okay? Oh, God. Whole Foods should be called Whole Paycheck, yeah. And Jeremy, it's good to see you again. You know what? I'm coming up on that lovely little point where I'll tell you to ask me anything. So, let's yammer. You got any questions about PETA? You got any questions about tonight's topic or whatever? Ask. Or if you just got questions for me. It's good to be back. We got some great shows on the lineup for the station. I'm going to be yammering up with our heads, maybe getting some merch squared away. So, ask me anything. First off, I'm sure some of you noticed this. I started a new site. For those of you that don't know, I work private security. And whenever I start off a new site, I try and look as much as I can like my security ID, which meant I had to go clean shaven, at least at first. And then I let stuff grow back. Now, normally whenever I do any kind of clean shaving, I usually go clean shaven once every month and a half, unless I know that I've got a convention coming up, in which case then I actually let the stuff grow out. But since convention season's been over, the only reason why I haven't really gotten rid of it is for you folks. So, let's see here. We got any questions? Yeah, Megan, you make a very good point. A lot of the local places right now are dealing with a mass surplus that they can't get rid of. So if you can buy local right now, help them out. Hands down. Just whatever you do, don't feel obligated to an ideology for the sake of sustenance. I know people that will go broke just to buy organic. That's ridiculous. Okay? Don't be like that. Don't do that. That's ridiculous. Like I said, AMA. Yes, Debbie, I actually served in the Air Force for the better part of a decade. Hence the reason why this is my legit ABUs. I used to have my BDUs. They're currently sitting in my other closet. I was combat communications. Originally, I was a 3 Charlie 3, which was computer systems project and program management. And then they switched me over to client systems administration. I did 2 deployments where I was working as combat communications, and I also worked as security forces augmentation. Let's see. Medium, and it goes redder as it goes down. I won't take one rare. So it's between rare and medium. Okay? Medium is the darkest, I'll take it. And a little bit above rare is the rawest that I'll take it. Hey, rock on. A freaking grunt. And you worked comm too. Hey, fellow comm troop. Glad to see you. What else we got? Thank you for your service, by the way. Any other questions, comments, concerns, complaints, cash payments? Oh, by the way, hellfireradio.com. They've got a merch store. I highly suggest you check them out. They got banners, they got posters, they got mugs, they got t-shirts, you name it. Okay? Some of my stuff will be up there soon. I promise. Okay? If you feel like donating to the station, you know, buy merch. If you feel like donating to me, so that this way, you know, I have a little bit of capability to sustain myself, because God knows, you know, money making is kind of tough. If you can afford it, great. If you can't, don't feel bad. It's fine. All right? If you want to donate to me directly, by all means, contact me on my Facebook profile, Baron Voltage. It's 2 words, BARON space VOLTAGE. Just contact me on Messenger, or you can email me directly at baronvvoltage@gmail.com. All one word, Baron V Voltage. It's 2 V's. Let's see here. Take a look here. I don't know much beautiful the sense of consciousness. The main problem is people feed too much to go, how they diet, and of course the PETA. Yeah, you want to Patrick, you got it right on the head, and that's the problem. And Debbie, believe it or not, I actually worked pots for a while too. I used to handle pots and teletype as well. How you doing, Gary? But yeah, I had to take a break. I know some of you all were probably expecting this to be last week. I started at a new security site. They put me at a new site. I'm guarding a bank for a while. It's temporary, but the hours are a little bit different. They actually have me working during the day, which means I have to get up early as fuck in the morning. Which is weird, because I identify as a goddamn vampire. I like the night, but day shift, you know, I gotta be up, and I'm actually home when the sun's still up, which is weird for me. You know, for like the better part of like the last like 2 years, I've been working at night. Oh. You know what? Next week's topic, I'm going to put up a poll on Hellfire Radio's Facebook page. Okay? When I come up with an idea as to who should be put up against the posts for the killing wall. Alright? I'll let you folks tell me who deserves to be giving their last words. Because then I get the last word in. Alright? So, watch the Hellfire Radio page. And await my post. Till then, I want you guys to share the ever-loving shit out of this. Okay? It's a new time slot. I'm going to be on midnights. Wednesday at midnight, like tonight, and Friday at midnight. Okay? Last show on both of those days. So guess what? I finish off hump day, and I finish off the week for you. Or at least the work week. Because we got shows on Saturday that kick ass too. We even got a magazine that's going to be coming out. So I highly suggest you keep an eye out for that. That's going to be beyond awesome. Check out all the other wonderful shows that we've got currently airing right now. You've got this interesting show this guy Danny does. He's pretty cool. You know, I'd check it out. Tyson has this great show. Okay? Check out Dana early as fuck in the morning, but you know, the Gonzo Radio Show. Check out Shit Show Theater, Skitsy Show. I would, goodness gracious. Lily has a pretty damn good show too. Tarot readings. Monday nights. Starts off the Mondays right. Get your week going. But seriously, folks, I mean, check us out. We kick ass. Highly suggest it. In about 4.5 hours, I think. In 4 hours, 4.5 hours, Dana's show is going to be coming on. The Gonzo Radio Show is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Yeah, that's right. Well, keep an eye out. We got shows. We got entertainment. And we're happy as fuck to be hearing from all y'all. Let's see here. Debbie, I envy you. When I retired from the military, when I left the Air Force, I needed to work. My retirement just basically meant I had to get a new job. Sucked. But that's life. Oh yeah, there. With Danny Grimm, yeah. Let's Talk Weird with Danny Grimm. It's a great show. I think that Scoops and Mischief also have a couple of shows. There's this clown called Moist that has a pretty damn cool show too. Big Will has a pretty damn good show too. Seriously, check them all out. The whole broadcast schedule. Okay? Throw it on in the background, whatever. Listen to some kick-ass music. If you want to actually watch, you got something to watch. They're rather entertaining and somewhat comedic. And there's also this other guy, this vampire that shows up that's going to be on midnight on Friday in their new time slot. Kind of a weird dude. He talks about fear. And who knows? Maybe this week he'll have a guest. Still trying to work that out. Yeah. Anyways, I think that's tonight. I want to thank all of y'all for tuning in. Like I said, share the shit out of this. So this way, you want to know what? I know that you're watching. If I know that you're watching, maybe, just maybe, I'll take your show into consideration. I'll take a subject matter. I'll take ideas. And I'm always known to reply to my messages if you contact me directly. By the way, The Killing Wall is actually a page on Facebook. If you want membership, contact Baron Voltage. He'll hook you up. Because there are transcripted rants on there. Some that you won't see on here. And it's a closed group too, so the only way you'll be able to get it is if you contact me. So, I'll be watching. I'll have ears on. That's going to finish up tonight. Thank you all for tuning in. Hope you have a very lovely evening. And remember, don't give me a reason to put you in my crosshairs. Good night.